Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. I never know which way to leave the volume. So, this was a good episode. I know that a lot of people so far, there's a couple people that don't like the whole possession story because one, it's been done before, two, it's creepy, and just a bunch of other reasons. Like I said, I'm enjoying it because, well, I didn't really, watch it the first time around. Also, I want to apologize because such is my GH review, but I'm going to say it here. So, my landlord and his crew were working on my heat this evening. There's a lot of banging and noise and stuff like that. And, they got it done. So, I'm happy about that because, again, waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning in a freezing cold house is definitely no fun. So, I'm glad that that's done. I always say this all the time. When they got Ben and Sierra doing stuff, it's great. When they got Ben and Sierra just sitting there, being each other's faces, it's just... I don't understand what is the obsession with constantly showing these two kissing and being each other's faces, like, all the time. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Have they been like that before I started watching this show? Like, seriously, have they been like that? Please let me know in the comment section. So Julie comes to see Marlena. And Julie's like, yo, I'm done with this whole, you not letting anyone see Doug. Like, this is BS. I want to see him. I'm good for him. You're gonna have to let this happen. And Marlena, being all possessed, she's like, no, it's not gonna happen. He's a danger, and we're not doing it. And she stands on that position of Doug is a danger, and she is pissed. She's pissed. There's even parts where John is like, yo, I don't think it would be so bad if, he's supervised or whatever. Like, you taking this a little bit too far. Hell, even before Julie came in there, possessed Marlena was in there singing text to Sierra and Ben talking about how is the baby process going. What the hell? Yeah, so he's talking to himself, obviously, and John comes in there, and John is like, what's going on? I mean, Marlena was like, oh, I was just, talking, I was just talking to myself or whatever. And, John was like, well, that sounds like a man's voice. Oh, it was somebody on the phone. It was on speakerphone. Any other questions? John was like, no, it's cool. I was just, just checking. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. So after, Julie gets told no for one too many times, she leaves. Now, Paulina and Abe are sitting there making plans or whatever for the wedding, and Abe is like, I want Marlena to officiate us. And, Paulina's like, I don't know about that, because, she's been, spilling her secrets to, Marlena. But she's like, whatever, it's gonna make you happy, cool. So they get over there, and, Abe is like, I want you to officiate us. And, Marlena's like, she does this thing where she's talking about, oh, well, we can't sit there and have any secrets or anything like that, and, just really scaring Paulina. And she's like, listen, I'll do it under the jest that I get to talk to Tamara and make sure that she's cool with it. So, throughout the talk was a lot of double talking and making it seem like, she made it seem like she was going to tell Paulina's secret just right then and there. So Paulina's like, yo, listen, why don't you take, tell John, why don't you take a tuxedo shopping or whatever. So they get out of there, and Paulina's like, might be my imagination, but I could have swore you was about to spill the beans on pretty much what I told you in confidence. And Marlena was like, well, the thought had crossed my mind. What the like, Paulina was like, I'm sorry, what? And then Marlena's like, you need to tell the truth. You need to do it. You need to tell the truth. You're you know, you gotta tell the truth. You gotta do this. You gotta do this for Abe. And then during this conversation, Marlena makes this offhanded comment where she's like, well, you know, I've known Doug a lot longer than you, sister. And I'm not gonna lie, even I was like, I'm sorry, what did she just say? You know, even Paulina's like, I'm sorry, are you mocking me? And she's like, no, but, you know, marriage and secrets and lies and stuff like that, you gotta go into this, you know, with faith and get faith, and tries to give her this psychobabble. And, you know, Paulina just kind of just scuffs off the fact that she practically just, well, she mocked her, you know? And I'm like, I'm sorry, Paulina, you just gonna let that, you just gonna let her get away with that? Like, really? Yeah. Abe is sitting there talking to, John is sitting there talking to Abe about Marlena's odd behavior. You know, getting short with people, the whole dog situation, reading with shades on and everything like that. And Abe is like, yo, you think that she's possessed? And, you know, John's like, no, she just seems like, you know, she needs a lot of help. You know, she's kind of, you know, in trouble and she needs help. And I'm like, John, that's not how that conversation sounded. I mean, you said that she was acting strange. Her behavior was a lot different. She's making these crazy calls. Like, there's stuff that's off. And you're sitting there thinking, no, she's not possessed. I mean, she's totally okay with, you know, Johnny making a movie, even though that we talked, like, hours before that we were both in agreement. But no. She just seems like she's in trouble and I need to help her. What? Dude, just because she passed the test of, oh, she took off the glasses and she has normal eyes doesn't mean that she's not, but okay, sure, whatever. It's gonna drag this out a lot longer. Okay. Alright, cool, okay. Meanwhile, you got Julie that, you know, comes to Eli and Lonnie's place to try to get help. And, you know, at first Lonnie was like, you know, there's really nothing we can do if Marlene's her doctor. We can't really override that. And, you know, I guess Eli's like, yo, listen, I'm not going to sit there and have my grandma go through this. So he's like, yo, listen, I'm going to use my badge and we're not going to take no for an answer. So they get down there and one of the nurses is like, hey, you know, he's on a no visitors restriction or whatever. And, you know, Eli's like, yeah, well, this is police business. So, you're going to have to sit there and make that damn exception pretty much. So at this point, they're about to go sit there and try to see, Doug. So after, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 times that they, you know, did the devil's tango, Sierra and Ben decide to leave the house to go get some food. They run into Jake and Gabby, and, you know, well, Jake talks to, Ben about the whole situation with Philip and the mob and everything like that, and this guy's going to sit there and try to testify. And, you know, at first Ben is like, so what are you going to do? You going to shoot him? Because he, you know, shows the, you know, the burner or whatever. And he's like, yeah, well, what are you doing? And Jake is like, I'm just going to sit there and try to scare him. You know, try to reason with him. If it doesn't work, I'll try to scare him a little bit. Ben wants to go with him, but, you know, Jake is like, nah, I can't let you do that. You about to have a child or whatever. You know, well, I don't know if he knows about that, but he's like, your life is on the right track. I'm not going to bring you into this. So he leaves, and you got Gabby, well, you have Sierra sitting there trying to ask Gabby for a job. Gabby's like, well, I can't do that because I got fired. Talks about the whole Philip situation, you know, because Sierra told her about, you know, they're trying to get pregnant, which I don't understand this language, and I'm not trying to be an insensitive dick, but I don't understand this language, especially with this whole, you know, we're trying to get pregnant, or we're trying to have a baby. Okay, cool, we're trying to have a baby. We're trying to get pregnant. Like, the language just doesn't work. It doesn't seem like it works. It's the same thing when, you know, even on GH or whatever, or they're probably going to say it on here, it's like, oh, you know, we're pregnant. It's like, no, we're not pregnant. You're pregnant. Okay? Because I'm not the person that has to sit there and go through 8, 9 hours of labor. You're pregnant. If you sit there and say, we're having a baby, that makes more sense. But I just don't understand that language of Oh, we're trying to get pregnant. I'm sorry, and I understand it's supposed to be a joint thing and a special thing and a bond and everything like that, but the language just doesn't really work for me. Yeah, just doesn't really work for me. So Jake goes to meet this guy, that something with a C. I can't remember what his name is. And he's like, it's in our best interest if you don't sit there and shoot off your mouth, because even if they can't prove that I did it, we're both gonna go to jail. Like, it doesn't do us any good. And he's like, who's ever paying you, I'll match it and I'll pay you extra. But he's just like, no, I'm gonna do it anyway. So, Jake pulls out the burner, because you can't say the GU blah 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 blah. He pulls out the burner. He's like, yo, you wanna listen to me now? I'm sitting there thinking, well, what happens if he doesn't listen to you? What are you gonna do? Shoot him in broad daylight? I'm not saying people don't do that, but I'm like, well, what's your backup plan? You're gonna shoot him? I guess you could. But that doesn't change the fact that Philip still has some damning evidence on you. So, shooting him isn't going to do anything. I have no idea what this man's plan is. And it's funny, too, because they're like, what we're going to sit there and do when Jake is next to talking to Gabby. It's like, what are we going to do? We're going to strategize or whatever. And they're just like, nah, we'll just do the devil's thing on instead. We'll just make out and stuff. We'll fool around. I was like, so your plan that this man's going to sit there and send you to jail, get her company, and we should both be worried. And your thought is, nah, let's just do each other. Oh. Yep, that makes sense. Anyway, for the most part, I feel like that's about it. There's minor little details as far as, like, Abe and Paulina's and they're planning this wedding or whatever. But I think I kind of covered that briefly. So if I miss anything major, please let me know in the comment section. I want to thank everyone for watching and thank you for your patience. Be safe. See you in the next video.